Hi everyone and welcome back to our channel. If you're around here, my name is Danielle and it's a real special day today because today marks a day where we are 60 days out from our Disney trip. Oh, now I think when you get to 60 days I can't explain. It's like a day where you just know that your trip is like not that far off because you're making all your dining reservations, you're making all your reservations for things like Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique and all of that. And I just think it's like such a special and exciting day because once you make all your reservations, that's it. There's not really anything else you can do other than pack your suitcases and go to Disney World. And I am just so excited. So a little bit of the backstory. We have got a few other videos on our channel already if you're interested in Lapland UK. We've got that on there, and we've also done a bit of a trip announcement and a little bit of a get to know us video. So if you're interested, you can check that out as well. But going forward, I'm just going to introduce ourselves, give a little bit of a backstory about what we've got planned. So my name is obviously Danielle, like I said. I will be travelling with my husband, Adam, and my daughter, Poppy Rose. And it will be, I want to say, around about, give or take, my 9th trip to Florida. I think I first went in 2012 and I've been going every couple of years since, so that's really exciting. Adam's been going since he was a child. He was one that introduced me to Florida, and now I am just as obsessed, if not more obsessed than him. So he's been lots of times. And Poppy Rose is 8, and this will be her 4th trip to Florida. So it's our special place. We all love it. In this house, we've always got a Florida vlog on. We're always talking about Florida. We're always talking about Disney. We're always talking about Universal. We are always talking about anything to do with anything like that. Like, we are literally obsessed. Like, I'm not even gonna lie to you. But I'm going to tell you about our trip. So we are flying from Manchester direct with Virgin Atlantic, and we are doing 15 nights and we're staying in All-Star Movies. Now, All-Star Movies, for us, it's great. Love it. We stayed in All-Star Movies last year. On our previous trips before that, we've always stayed off-site just because there's a big group of us and logistically it just worked out better. But last year there was only 5 of us that went. So we stayed on site for the first time, absolutely loved it. This year it's just the 3 of us going, which is going to be a bit strange because when we do Florida trips, usually there's anywhere between, 5 was the lowest we've ever done, and that was last year, and now it's 3. Other years it can be anywhere between 8 to 10 of us going. So it's going to be a very different trip. But nonetheless, I am really, really looking forward to it. So we're saying All-Star Movies. It's apps. I just love All-Star Movies. It does everything it says on the tin. It's basic, but it's clean. We are not in that hotel room enough to be starting paying up, prices up towards deluxe. It doesn't work. Not worth it for us. For other families, definitely it's worth it. And the deluxe resorts are stunning. We just can't justify the price because we just don't use the amenities on resort. We just don't. We're either in the parks or we're in the car driving around Florida doing things off site. Like, we just don't use a room. The room is literally to shower and sleep. So for us, it works out perfect. The rooms are a little bit small, but we'll get past that. Like, it's fine. It's absolutely fine. The pools are great. The theming's fantastic. I can't moan about the food court really. Like, the food is standard food court food, but it does the job. It's great. Now, my only gripe about All-Star Movies is the buses. Where you stand in the queues for the bus, August, brutal. We don't really use the buses that often because when we go to Florida, we always hire a car. Now, do you need to hire a car? No, you don't. But we just do it because that's what we prefer. We'd rather pay a few £100 extra and hire a car. We've always done Florida with a car. We did 4 days at Universal without a car last year. And by day 5, we were like, when we was picking the car up, we were like, yeah, I am ready to have this car now. Like, I'm ready to have that freedom. But that's just because we've always had it. So for us, a car is pretty much a non-negotiable unless we were on a strict budget. Then we would go without. But for us, we hire a car. We just love having one. So we are hiring a car. So the buses don't tend to daunt us as much because we won't be using them every day. We're going to use them an odd time here and there, but it's not going to be part of our daily, let's get the resort bus because we're going to be in the car. So that's absolutely fine. We will be doing Twilight check-in as well with Virgin. We did Twilight check-in last year and it was absolutely great. Loved it. Like, it was so seamless once we found the car park at Manchester Airport because it wasn't signposted properly. But we eventually found it and it was great. In the morning, all the bags were already through. Just had our hand luggage, walked through security. It was just a breeze. And I have said if they do Twilight check-in and we can do it, I will always do it at Manchester Airport. We aren't far from Manchester Airport though. We are about 20 minutes in the car, so it's not a massive thing where we're going out of our way to drop stuff off. If you're staying near the hotel overnight or you're not that far, try it and see whether it suits you. It did last year for us and we're definitely going to do it again this year. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, there are a few things that we're not doing on this trip this year. So we are not actually doing Universal this year, which I am still feeling a little bit sad about. And the reason why we're not doing Universal is because we should never have been coming to Florida anyway. The plan was always to do Disneyland Paris. Poppy wants to go back to Disneyland Paris. She loves Disneyland Paris just as much as she loves Florida. Maybe slightly less, but she does love it. And Poppy said she wanted to go to Disneyland Paris this year. So we were like, right, that's fine. We'll do Florida last year, Paris this year, no problem. And the prices actually got released while we were in Florida. So me and Adam was discussing when's best to go. We were thinking May half term. It was actually just after her birthday. Poppy went to stay in the Disneyland Hotel and we were like, okay, that can be a birthday present. If that's what you want to do, you can have it, but it's going to cost a lot of money and you can have it as your birthday present. So we were like, right, getting prices. I was like, I don't really want to pay that for a hotel, but we'll do it for her. And as we were discussing dates and everything else, Poppy just turned around and said, Mum, I've changed my mind. I want to come back here next year. Now, as some of you may know, when you price up Florida and Disneyland Paris, Florida is always going to work out more expensive because your flights are more expensive. You're going for longer, so you're going to be spending more spending money and everything else. But like for like, hotel and park tickets, it was roughly working out the same. So we were like, okay, we are going to spend more going to Florida, but we're getting a lot more for the money. So we said, right, if you want to come back here, that's fine, we'll come back here. So we were never supposed to be coming. So that kind of threw a little bit of a spanner in the works. We're like, right, we've got to find a few extra £1,000 from somewhere. And I can't say it too loud because Poppy is actually upstairs. But the reason why we aren't doing Universal is because we are actually going on 3 other holidays this year. Me and Poppy are going to Lanzarote with my mum and my sister. She knows about this one, so that's fine. We're going to Lanzarote in October. Big family holiday with everyone. She knows about that one, but the one she doesn't know about is we are actually going to Lapland in December. So that's costing us a considerable amount of money, as you can imagine. So we're a bit like, right, we kind of need to rein it in compared to what we've done last year in 2025. And our compromise was that we are not going to be doing Universal this year. I was then toying with the idea of maybe getting like a 3-day ticket and doing 3 days, but I think because we are definitely not going back to Florida next year, that is for certain, we are not doing it next year. We've got lots of plans to get the house finished off. We've renovated this house over the last 4 years and it's time to get outside done and a few other bits left to do inside. So I want it all done. I want a nice garden. My garden is just, it's hell on earth right now and it needs a lot of money spent on it. So we were like, right, let's use that money that we would spend going to Florida and put it into the garden instead. So we're definitely not going next year. I was thinking about getting a 3-day ticket. I was a bit like, should we, shouldn't we? But ideally, because we're not going next year, Poppy will be 9 next year. She's going to be at least probably 10 before we next go. And I don't know whether that magic will still feel like magic in the way that it does now. So we kind of just want to savour all of the Disneyness and the, childness fun aspect of it because I don't know how long that's going to last for. So we decided, let's not rush, let's take our time, let's soak everything in, let's, sit on Main Street with a coffee and not feel like we've got to rush off because we need to do this and this because we've got 3 days at Universal and over the next few days, for example. So we was just like, yeah, let's just savour Disney because that's just the most important thing to us right now. So This morning, I have actually booked Babysy Boxy Boutique for Poppy. I logged in about 6:15 UK time this morning, and the reservations were available. So I booked it for one of the days. It is actually Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween party that day. Magic Kingdom is always really quiet on a party day. So we tend to do Magic Kingdom on parties and then park hop if we want to do the fireworks or whatever. So we are doing it on a Friday, party day, usually quieter. I booked that, and then we're going to book, hopefully, Cinderella's Royal Table for afterwards. We did it last year, absolutely loved it. So that is already booked. It's not far off 11 o'clock now. I'll go through what I want to book. So, like I said before, we are going for 15 days, and we travel out on a Thursday. So we're going in August, if you don't know. Today's date is the 14th of June. We're going in August, and we fly on a Thursday. So our first full day is a Friday, which technically is a party day at Magic Kingdom. So we're going to do Magic Kingdom, rope drop, probably go back to the hotel for a few hours, and then maybe hit Epcot for a little bit. Now, jet lag will take its toll on us, so we'll probably be in bed pretty early again that day. But we'll just see how it all goes. We'll see what the weather's like, see how we're all feeling, feet are feeling, and all that sort of stuff. But we are definitely going to road trip Magic Kingdom, and I want to get Crystal Palace for breakfast on that first day. Now, when I've looked online over the last few days, because this is the one that I'm kind of thinking, am I going to get it? It's my first full day. Like, loads of people that are staying on site have already had access to this. Now, when I'm looking at if I'm just going to book 60 days to the day, there are still times available for breakfast in the morning, times that I want. So I am hoping that will then transpire to when we come into our 6 days out, so that should be fine. So I want to book Roundup Rodeo for one of our Hollywood studio days. We've done Roundup Rodeo before, and I know it can get a real mixed reviews, shall we say. When we went, the food was great. Like, it really was. It was nice. The atmosphere was fantastic. The service was great. I mean, to be honest, the service has been great across Disney anyway. But the reason why we're booking it is because we're going to do a Lightning Lane date in Hollywood Studios this day. And I like it because of the Florida heat. It just gives you enough time to sit down for a good hour, relax, cool back down again, because that Florida heat can be tough. It can be. You know, I would always advise people, Florida in August is hot. What people say is probably true most of the time. It is really, really hot. But there are lots of perks going in August. For us, I work term time only, so I can only go in August or in the school holidays. I don't fancy doing Easter. Poppy only gets a week at Easter as well, so that, yeah, I'll end up getting fined and paying a premium at the same time, so there's no point really going there. And the crowds just put me off. Same with Christmas. The Christmas crowd, even though the weather is probably stunning in December, the Christmas crowd, they put me off too. So we're only really left for 2 weeks with August. And I enjoyed it. I think if you manage your expectations and manage yourself, and you plan to be hot, and you plan to bring things to cool you down as much as possible, I think you'll be fine. We were fine. We managed it really well. Roundup Rodeo, middle of the day at I'm aiming for 1 o'clock, just to split up the day. Like I said, cool down properly, get a bit of rest, and go back out and do some more lightning lanes. Worked really well for us last year, so that's what I'm planning on doing again this year. Like I said, book BBB. I booked it for around about 10 in the morning. I want to book Cinderella's Royal Table for around about 12:30, so that gives us a bit of time in case they're running late, but it also gives us time to go and get pictures at Sir Mickey's, to go and get pictures with the princesses, and just laze around, get some pictures in front of the castle, that sort of stuff. Worked really well again last year. I also want a reservation for Beaches and Cream for the afternoon. Poppy really wants to go and do the kitchen sink. Now, we did the kitchen sink last year. She loved it. I wasn't planning on doing Beaches and Cream again, but she has been begging to go back for a kitchen sink. So we've compromised and we're doing Beaches and Cream. Again, we're going to probably do that in the mid-afternoon. We were planning on an Epcot day or a Hollywood Studios day. Epcot obviously can walk straight out, and and walk over. If not, we can jump on a Skyliner from Hollywood Studios and get to that way. And the last reservation that I want to make is Topolino's Terrace for breakfast. We did Topolino's Terrace last year for breakfast. It was absolutely amazing. Definitely want to do it again. It was probably Adam's favourite character dining for food. I loved the food at Ohana's last year. I just didn't like the experience at Ohana's. The food was phenomenal. Like, it was gorgeous. Service, fantastic. The thing that let it down massively for me was the character interactions. They just weren't it. They were probably in and out within about 30 seconds. I don't know whether they were in and out because it's just one child, and me and Adam aren't really that fussed about meeting characters. It's more for Poppy. So I think they were just really quick and a little bit too quick. Like, I didn't get any nice pictures with Stitch with Poppy, and that was the one that Poppy was most looking forward to, was the Stitch one. So that makes me a little bit sad. But we're not going to do it again. That's fine. If you've got a real Stitch fan, if you've never done it, I would always recommend, because the food is lovely. It's just lower your expectations when it comes to the character interactions, I would say. So that's pretty much it. We're not making loads of reservations. Now, the Beaches and Cream reservation and the Topolino's Terrace one, I can't make those today. I can only make those later on this week, because you can only book the first 10 days of your trip, and then you can book subsequent days as the days go on. So I'm probably going to have to book them tomorrow and possibly Wednesday, I want to say. But I'll update you and let you know how I got on with them. Now, when it comes to booking, my advice is plan out all your days, write down what times you ideally want so you know, but also have backup plans. So if you think you've got a reservation that is a little bit, you're like, oh, I don't know if I'm going to get that at the time that I want, think about other times that you want. Consider switching it to a different time of day if you can. We've always got all the reservations that we've wanted at roughly the time that we've wanted them at. I would say for tougher reservations like Topolino's Terrace, don't try and plan that in on your first day. Plan it in as far into your reservations as you possibly can, just so that you've got a better chance and a better window of being able to book that. Because a lot of Americans tend to go for anywhere between 4 and 7 days. It's only really us Brits, because obviously it's say Brits, Europeans should we say, and maybe other countries that come from afar, that come for longer, because obviously with the travel and everything else. So we kind of get first dibs in that later towards those 10 days. So I would always say your Topolinos, don't book it at the beginning of your trip, because the chances are you might not get it. You could, there's chances that you might, but the chances are you're not. So book it in towards the back end of your 10 days, or book it further on, because then they'll open up. So if you're like us and you're travelling from the UK, your dining reservations open up at 11 o'clock UK time in the summer. I don't know if it's the same in the winter, because I don't know what time. Clocks change and everything else, so you'll have to check. But right now, in June, it's 11 a.m. Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, that opened up technically for me at 6 a.m. and I booked at 6:15. So always check in the morning and see whether they open up early, because chances are that they might. It did for me. It's let me book it. I've got my confirmation through. And when it comes to booking Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, that is a little bit different. You've rather got to do that via a VPN, or you're going to have to message them in some form or ring them up and book it. Now, waiting to ring up, I mean, because the call centres, when you do ring Disney, they are in America. So the chances are it's not going to, well, they probably will be open at 11 a.m, but I could book at 6. It's not going to be open at 6 a.m. UK time. So the chances are, if it's during a busy period, you might not necessarily get the time that you want. VPN, really straightforward. I used a free VPN and it was called, let me just check, Opera, Opera. It was free, really simple. It used a VPN on my phone. I booked it all on my phone, and yeah, 6:15 this morning, it was all done. Really, really simple. Got the time that I wanted. it is a lot later in the day now, and all my dining reservations have been made apart from one. So I'm going to go through which ones I've made, what I wanted, what I managed to get. So I managed to get Crystal Palace at 9:30 on the first Friday when we arrive in Magic Kingdom, and that's the time that we wanted, so that's great. That was one I was kind of really worried about, because I was like, it's right at the beginning of our trip, and I didn't know whether I'd be able to get the exact time I wanted, but I did, which was fantastic. And on the Monday, I wanted Roundup Rodeo, which we managed to get, and I got it for 12:50. I wanted 1 o'clock, so that's perfect. I managed to get Cinderella's Royal Table at 12:30 on the Friday, which is the time that we wanted, so that worked out really well. I have added one in, which I've not spoken about. As the day's gone on, we've been kind of like speaking with my sister, and she did this one last year, and she said it was really, really good, so we've decided to add this in. It's not a food reservation. We booked Olga's Cantina. We're just going to go for drinks, but we booked that on the Saturday, and we booked it for 6 o'clock. My idea of booking it for 6 o'clock in the evening is so that we can go, maybe spend an hour or so in there, come out, head toward Fantasmic, and then that will be our night that we watch that. On the Sunday, I wanted 1 o'clock for Peaches and Cream, and I got 1:20, which worked out perfect. So the only one which I'm yet to book, which I'll do this week, is Topolino's Terrace. Now, ideally, I would like around about 9:30. I'm not too fussed if it's up towards 10 o'clock. That wouldn't bother me. But I will let you know. I'll insert it to let you know what time I got and if I managed to get it at all. There is still reservations out for halfway into our trip, so I'm hoping that that kind of gives us a bit of an idea that it's not going to be a struggle for me to get. I didn't struggle getting it on our last trip, but I didn't quite get the time that I wanted. It worked out in our favour because I wanted it for like 8:30, and I could only get it for 9:30. But because it was later on in our trip and we was having lions, it worked out in our favour booking the late slot anyway. If you've got this far, thank you so much. I would really appreciate it if you could like, comment and subscribe to this channel, and hopefully you can follow along on our journey of vlogging Florida and other places which I'm not going to mention right now because there is somebody with ears in the vicinity, but we have got lots of things coming up on this channel. Don't forget, before we go to Florida, we will be doing a video on Pack For Me. I'm going to be doing a video on Twilight check-in and stuff like that. But like I said, if you would enjoy coming along on this journey, please subscribe. Thanks everyone. Bye.